Welcome to another episode of Fellowship Hall Talk with Brock and Chris. Thank you guys for joining us again. We're just here to provide a little bit of entertainment and encouragement during the social isolation of coronavirus. I'm going to enjoy a little bit.
Stay away from me.
Right. Can I get my coffee?
Yeah, go ahead. Awesome.
Going to walk with us.
Oh yeah. We're walking across the Welcome Center. I know you wish you were here.
I want to show you this. Let me do it like that.
Look at that. So this is the Harvest Hope food box donation. Here's the big box right here. Show the box. This is outside, and people have dropped all this stuff off in about 2 days. It's been pretty cool to watch come in. What's the most valuable thing on the cart, Brock? Do you know?
I do know.
What is it?
It would be toilet paper.
Toilet paper, and we got a lot of it right here, folks.
Yes.
Yeah, there you have it.
Chris, real quick, tell them what Harvest Hope is doing.
Harvest Hope is collecting food for folks that are having a difficult time during the coronavirus, and so that's why we're helping them out. And it looks like we got a lot of good things. Notice the sign, Brock. So we got canned goods, detergent, peanut butter, there's some strawberry jam, and your essential diapers, just in case. And then rice, and there's the toilet paper, all the essential items. So y'all jump in, bring us something. We'll take it to the Harvest Hope Food Bank.
Yeah. And just one little note, in case you're wondering, that is macaroni and cheese. Gretchen and I were wondering about that. That's
Macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, macaroni and cheese works.
It does. It's good.
All
That's
right.
what I ate in college.
All right, we're moving over here.
Okay, hey, I wanted to share this with you. I like this song, actually. So let's turn it up a little bit, see if we can get a little more. What do you think? Oh yeah, got a race to run. Yeah.
We got a race to run. That's what it
Got
says.
a race to run. The thing that I liked about this, I've been using this in my devotion some during Lent, is it's a Biola Christian artist consortium, and they put out different devotionals during Lent. So they're 40 days in Lent, and so they have 40 days of devotion. And each day they have a song, and you just heard a little piece of that song. It was a cool song. And then they have a piece of art. This one captured my attention because it's doing something in it that we aren't able to do right now, which is be together. And so see all these folks hanging out, and they're actually, when you're looking at the picture real close, you'll notice different parts of the Bible story. I don't know if you can see it way out there in television world. Here, get a little closer. So you can see, like here, this is the center of the picture right here. Let's see, that's not gonna work, but right here, I'm gonna point at it. That is Jesus' baptism, and then all of the other events of the Bible are in there, Old Testament, New Testament, and then it has the gallery of heaven. Here the guys catching fish. That's a big one. And so they're gathered and they're enjoying community in this big cathedral and spilling out, and there's a procession. It's big, and so I thought that would be cool to see, especially during this time when we're having a hard time getting together. Should I show them the video?
We have a video to show.
What's going on right now around the world is so crazy that we're not able to get together. And a friend of mine in Haiti sent me this video. And what you'll notice about this video, oops, there it is. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, whip. Okay, well, let's just watch it. What these guys are doing is coming out of worship. They've just finished a prayer gathering, and it's a Muslim prayer gathering, I believe, wherever it is. And they are getting whipped as they come out. That's it. So, you know, the crazy thing right now, I think this is either in India or it's in Haiti, and they are being punished for gathering because of the coronavirus, but it's the Muslims that are getting together, which is interesting to me. I don't think it's great for us to be getting together right now.
We definitely want to be
Safe.
and following the guidelines, but it does bring about, you know, so Chris and I were talking about it, and the idea of what is part of what is the church. I think we would all say part of that is gathering together physically, right? To be able to worship together, to encourage one another. Part of the nature of how we're created is that physical nature. And so there's something to that, we believe, that, you know, being created in the image of God, that involves part of our physical nature. And so how much of what defines the church depends on us being able to gather physically. And, you know, it just brings up some interesting conversation about, you know, what we're doing during this time of social distancing and isolation and sheltering in place, and, you know, we can't get together. And we certainly, again, want to abide by the guidelines.
Right.
But, and we're fortunate, I think, right now, and that, so this just adds to the it adds to it a little bit that we have the ability almost to meet virtually. And so as a church, we can almost not miss a beat by gathering virtually, but then we are missing a vital part that I think is vital. And that's that physical community fellowship gathering aspect. So it's just interesting to think about.
Yeah, so the article that I have here on the TV, it talks about the name of the article is communion via live stream communion. And so he's asking, is it real? Is it really a real thing? Especially when you think about the word communion. Communion is built around the word community and being together. And so the theologian that wrote this in our church, in the ECO, is trying to make us think about, can the church be the church just virtually? It's a good question. I don't know if I know the right answer right now. I'm still struggling with it myself because of the moment in time that we're in. But it does talk about the need for what he said, the physical aspect of how we're created in the image of God, that we are going to need to show and demonstrate love with our bodies physically. And then also Jesus, how did he demonstrate his love for us? He gave his whole body for us and died on the cross. And so that's physical. And so there's a quote here that I was going to read you. Yeah, you might want to get in a little bit closer. And this is a little wordy, so just bear with me for a second. It's right here. When church moves to online media only, it runs the risk of perpetuating the false belief that church is an institution that exists to provide services to individuals. Then it says, and this is good, the church does not exist to provide content to aid individuals in their spiritual journey, but to lead individuals into reconciled relationships with God, with one another, and God's creation by demonstrating this in all aspects of life. Christianity is not a spirituality if by that we mean it is not simultaneously a physicality. Okay, now that's a big word we won't worry about. But what it's trying to tell us, and it gets a little further into it, and I won't go any further than that, it's more than just believing the right things. It's actually doing with our bodies the things that we believe. Does that make sense?
Actions, you know, it's that whole thing of actions accompanied, words accompanied by action. the actions affirm, provide evidence for what you profess with your mouth.
Yeah.
And at least here and now. Well, and I believe in the life to come too. That involves the physical.
Yeah.
And so, as we're in this moment in time, it gives us a lot of different. It gives us time to think about a lot of different things and process things like, what does the church really mean? It's not just to. It's not maybe one aspect of the church is to provide services. But that's only a small part. That's not the essential part of the church.
Mm-hmm.
Church exists to lead individuals to be reconciled in the relationship with God and one another. And, we sense this, right? When we're not together,
Yeah.
we long.
There's something missing.
There is something missing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we're fortunate that there's an end. We know there's an end coming to this, and it's not long.
Right.
Before coronavirus will be run through, it'll be over, and we'll get back together. Something would be harder is if there was no end in sight, and that we might. And then what would we do? Now we know we'll get back together, so we can bear with it for a little while. But what if there was no hope of the virus stopping? Would we not ever get back together?
I don't want to answer that question because I don't know.
Yeah.
I know there are a lot of believers in the world that live solitarily forced by the circumstances,
Mm-hmm.
like those who are martyrs, that end up being martyred, who have been imprisoned and things like that. And so that's going on out there, and it's a difficult life. But Scripture does say that He will not tempt us or challenge us past what we can take.
Mm-hmm.
And so even in that circumstance, the person is upheld in faith and belief during that season. I think that's true.
Right.
One of the things that popped in my head as you were talking is the Trinity again, and we might have mentioned that in the first one. The Trinity is always in relationship,
Mm-hmm.
Father, Son, and Spirit, and then He creates us in His image, and therefore we long and are actually built for relationship. So to only have virtual contact is beyond what it means to be created in the image, I think. And so, yeah, it's a challenging time, but I'm not sure I'm ready to go virtual.
Yeah.
All the time.
No. And I just don't think that would be healthy for us. We know that. Not even. Science and psychology, I think, affirms that. I feel like I've heard of studies of people who are in isolation, or babies who grew up in isolation and have just terrible problems because they never experienced human touch or human affection. Physical touch is a part of that that God created in us, I think, to need. Otherwise, we'd see clear commands, I think, in the Bible that we could go off and be alone and live lives of solitude, almost commanded like that. But we don't. We see community.
Right. I think it's healthy sometimes to pull away and have times of solitude. I think that's healthy especially if you're doing it deliberately to be with the Lord. I think that's really good. But yeah, a lot of what God has set in motion began right at the very beginning of the Bible in the creation story. And He says, as He's looking at creation, He says, it's good, it's good, it's good. And then what does He say when He says it's not good? What is He saying? It's
for
not
man to be alone.
For man to be alone. And
Right.
then He makes the woman, and therefore then you have relationship.
Right.
And that's the not good part of creation that He fixed at the beginning. And so we need each other. And so That's why you got a picture like this.
Right.
With a lot of people celebrating, worshiping the Lord in one place,
Yeah.
celebrating the story of the Bible.
Yeah. And I, you know, and certainly one thing we want to be thankful for is the ability to meet as like we do in this period, knowing that it's a short period, so we don't have to do it forever, and take advantage of meeting as best we can virtually, and engaging as much as we can with our brothers and sisters in Christ during this time.
Amen.
You know, not to miss out on those opportunities. And we're trying to keep that going. We're doing our best to continue to meet, even if it's not physically, during this time. But we look forward to it coming to an end soon, hopefully.
Praying for it to come to an end. Yeah, I hope y'all are praying. So the church is praying at 7 in the morning, and then so if you're awake, you can pray at 7, or maybe it's better for you to think in terms of at 7:19 we're trying to ring the bell every day, and
7:19 p.m.
p.m. 7:19 p.m. and that's to help call people to prayer as well. And we're trying to get other churches to do that with us. And so 7:19, the reason it's 19 is because it's coronavirus 19.
Right.
And so that's why the 7:19. Actually, 7 is in the world of the military is 19 as well.
Oh, that's right.
Military time,
Right.
1919.
1919. Oh, and be looking out too for some announcements coming up about more opportunities for prayer type stuff, especially with Holy Week coming up.
We'd invite you to the sanctuary
Right.
separately.
Yeah. No more than 10.
No touchy.
Yeah. All right. See you guys.
God bless.